Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So this is part 2 of the Primaris transport problem. For those of you who haven't watched part 1 was mostly discussing the repulsor tank and the tank variants that we're going to be getting with the Primaris range, going over some of the problems I personally felt with that. This part of the video is going to be discussing the transports which normal Space Marines can get, and also which Primaris can get as well, but also discussing what they can't get into in the normal Space Marine line and trying to dissect why it makes completely no sense at all. So let's jump in and let's get started. So let me just say quickly once again, if you've watched part 1 and I read all your comments and stuff like that, there was quite a few people that thought I was bashing on the repulsor, saying, hey, I love the repulsor. I stated in the video, I love the repulsor. I think it's a great tank. I love Hovertech. Hovertech is legit the best thing ever. So I've got nothing against Hovertech. So please don't go into it thinking, oh my god, this guy hates Hovertech. What a noob. It's not. I love Hovertech. I just hate what's going on with the transport capabilities of the Primaris range at the moment. Okay, so let's jump into the big things. Right, so when it comes to the normal Space Marine range and the Primaris range, these chaps have the transport capabilities. I'm on about the normal Marines have the transport capabilities. They have the rhinos, but they also have the aircraft, which can transport their units as well, which for me is kind of a sucker punch to the belly, because there's some aircraft which can take big units, but they can't take a couple of Primaris guys. There's a couple of tanks that can take normal units in mass capacity, but they can't take Primaris guys. There's some units which can take people that are bigger than Primaris, lore-wise, but they don't transport Primaris. Now, when it comes to lore and balance on the game, I kind of can understand where that may be a problem, but to deny the Primaris more or less 99% of all of the normal Space Marine vehicles to transport these chaps, especially when they can transport other things, is just completely bizarre for me. So the first example of this, do you know what? Let's stay on the ground for now, and then we'll move up into the air. So the first example of this is the Land Raider. The Land Raider can take normal Space Marines. Custodes can deploy a Land Raider in their force, and we all know Custodes are bigger than Primaris, but Primaris cannot get into a Land Raider. So it makes it this is the kind of stuff where I'm scratching my head thinking, why is GW doing this? And the only logical explanation I can think of is money. That's basically what it comes down to. It comes down to a business model of selling goods, which is kind of crappy, because Land Raiders have some awesome designs. I love the Land Raider Crusader. I would love to just deploy all that DACA along with my Primaris and stuff like that, but there's really no point, because then I'm just paying for something that my guys can't even get in and transport into and stuff like that. So one of the main problems at the moment is that the Primaris can't get into like a tank like this, and like I said, it's just business. And if it is business and not balance reasons, because I'm going to go with the business option, because I can't see the problem with the balance at the moment in my head personally. If it is business, I think that is a really, really crappy thing for GW to do. But I really want to focus on the actual air stuff, because this is personally what I want as a Primaris player. If Primaris brought out a flyer that can transport Primaris, I would be completely sold. All would be forgiven for me. It would all be forgiven. But at the moment, we have the Storm Raven, who can carry a bunch of Space Marines as normal. Storm Raven's always been doing that. But the big punch to the belly, as I was saying before, for me, is that this thing can also carry a Dreadnought, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm thinking, right, okay, if this thing can carry a Dreadnought, but it can't carry a 5-man squad of intercessors, let's say, just normal, let's just leave like Gravis armor and all that stuff to the side for 1 minute. If it can't just take a normal tactical squad of Primaris Marines, then what in the hell is going on through the mind of like the rules writers and stuff like that? It's like, how can we possibly justify that this thing can deploy a Dreadnought, but it's not allowed to deploy a simple 5-man squad of intercessors onto the battlefield, because it would be absolutely amazing for me to put my guys into a flyer, fly it all the way to the end of the board and set up like a nice little defense position there, get line break and all that kind of stuff. I love that. I love doing that. Some of my friends who I play with, they use their Storm Ravens to deploy their their dreadnoughts on my side of the board, really cause a lot of damage to me and stuff like that. I would love to do this. I would personally love to be able to do this, but simpler in the rules at the moment, we can't do that. And this also goes with the Death Watch flyer as well, because if those of you who don't know, you can take Primaris in Death Watch. So the flyer is called the Corvus Black Star in Death Watch, and I've got to say, it's probably one of the most coolest looking flyers in the Space Marine range. I absolutely love it. It's probably up there in my top 3 list of flyers when it comes to stuff. I just love the body design, the sleek design and stuff like that. Now this can carry normal Space Marines. It can carry, I think it's like a single Terminator or a couple of Terminators, and it can also carry a bike as well. So this thing can carry a quite big arsenal of gear to be deployed. But once again, same old story. It's not allowed to carry Primaris units at all. Again, another kick in the stomach, because if you are playing with Primaris in the Death Watch range, which technically is probably the best force to play Primaris in because of the bolter ammunition and all that kind of stuff. Again, that's debatable if you want to debate that. But and then you have the flyer for that force, and you can't put your Primaris in it. It's like, okay, you give me something in one hand and you slap it out with the other hand. So we're getting that same old story again, where it just completely makes no sense. And the only conclusion I'm actually coming to at the moment is, again, it's just money. It's just sheer, you can't go in this, but guess what? You can buy this new tank we've just released, and this is the only thing you can carry your guys in. So I just don't like it. It makes no sense, and I really, really wish. Well, I was hoping for, like, when the chapter approved and the FAQs got updated, that they would actually update them and allow the Primaris in, because the Primaris have been out for a while now. So I was thinking, if it is a business situation, maybe they just wanted that cash injection at the start for the Primaris range, and now that's more or less passed, and it's the Primaris are out now. They've been on the market for, what is it, like 2-3 years now or something like that. But time's flown. Maybe they'll just update the FAQ rules and just let like at least just 5 man, just 5 guys. That's all I'm asking for. 5 guys in a bloody flyer. Is that too much to ask for, GW? Come on now. Come on, please. Now, for those of you who know your rules, which is congratulations if you've already guessed this point, there is technically a flyer we can get in, and it is a Thunderhawk. So Primaris do have access to a flyer, which is good, but it's also bad, because this is a Forge World model, if you didn't know. First things first, Forge World models cost quite a bit. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is this like a £300 to £400 model? It may be a little bit more. I haven't checked it recently. So that is one of the biggest situations when it comes to it. It's like shelling out for that model just to transport your Primaris. The second thing is, point-wise, this thing costs quite a lot of points as well. So just to transport, I think it's up to 20 Primaris you can transport in this. So to transport the up to 20 Primaris, guys, you're going to be shelling out for a massive vehicle, which takes a lot of points, by the way, and it costs a lot of money just to transport those 20 guys. So technically, yes, we have access to a flyer, but Cash 22, guess what? It's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and it's probably going to butcher your competitive list, if you want to say competitive list, or any kind of like low tier army transport lists and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's bad, it's awful. I love the Thunderhawk. Again, the Thunderhawk is one of my favorite flyers. It looks like a brick flying, but it's amazing. This is why I love 40k. It's just the rule of cool, and that's why I like it so much. Now, we do have a flyer when it comes to the Primaris in the lore. For those of you who don't know, there is an actual Primaris flyer, and it's called the Overlord. It was mentioned in the Dark Imperium novel by Guy Haley I'm not too sure if it's mentioned in Plague Wars at all. I can't really remember. I'm actually listening to it on the audiobook at the moment. But the problem with the Overlord, again, this is more or less a bigger problem than the Thunderhawk. The problem with the Overlord is that when it's described in the book, it's described as making the Thunderhawk look small. So if they eventually do come to do an Overlord flyer, then I definitely think it's going to be Forge Rule related. So that means we're getting into the cost issue again. And secondly, if this thing is making a Thunderhawk look small, and we all know what a Thunderhawk can do with his weapons, and as I mentioned, point cost, then how much is it going to cost to just put it on the tabletop? Is it going to make like a Stormbird look small? It's one of those things where you're like, oh wow, yeah, that sounds awesome, and then you think of it like, well, if it did come to tabletop, Holy Emperor, this is just gonna break everything. Maybe GW do have something planned. Maybe there's something in the works. Like I stated in the previous video, that Executioner Primaris battle tank, as they're calling it, that was designed apparently when the Repulsor was designed, and it's only just been released now, so maybe they have got the designs in for a Primaris flyer. I know there's been a lot of rumors flying around about Primaris jet bikes, Primaris flyers, all this kind of stuff, so we'll see. We shall see. I don't think we'll probably get anything else Primaris this year. I think, you know, it's Sisters. I'm hoping for some Khorne based stuff, but again, with the whole Space Marine and the new Space Marine Codex rumors, which have apparently been slinging around for the past couple of weeks now because of, you know, all the new units that are basically outside of the Space Marine Codex. Maybe that could be a time to introduce a new flying unit where we can transport Daka and all that kind of stuff. Give us access to the skies to dominate, deploy our troops, all that kind of fun. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that is something that will be coming down the line. But for now, I'm very, very disappointed. I am disappointed that the normal Marines have access to this. The normal Marines who can take, you know, like the Dreadnoughts, the bikes, the Terminators, they can get in these flyers. But my guys are just left out sitting in the cold, just looking through the window, just wanting some ham. So it's, yeah, it's kind of a crappy feeling if you are a full-on Primaris player like myself. And by the way, just before I finish this video, for those of you who come to me and say Varak, well, technically the Repulsor has the fly keyword, that means it's a flyer. I will find you and I will hunt you down. You, sir, can just leave. Just go. Stop with this. No. Alright, Chaperoonios, that is me done for another video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Tell me what you think. Are you in the same situation as me when it comes to the flyers? Are you a bit annoyed that Primaris can't get in the stuff? Are you happy that Primaris can't get in the stuff? Let me know in the comment section. I know there's some of you that dislike Primaris. I know this, you know, there's certain aspects of the Primaris stuff which I think is a bit stupid. You know, the starting law, the way they were introduced, yes, I agree. I didn't really take to that, but all in all, I absolutely love the design of the Primaris. I think it's all about the rule of cool for me, and I just think they just look cool, and that's why I enjoy them so much. But on that note, see you in a bit. Have a good one. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, leave your comments in the comment section below, and we can have a nice, healthy discussion down there. But for now, see you now, and bye-bye.